Hi, I'm Sue. Thank you again for joining me for today's Bible reading for September 27th. Today I'm reading two small books from the 12 of the minor prophets, Habakkuk and Zephaniah. And be sure to avail yourself to the links in the YouTube description section for the introduction to these videos if you want to get a little bit of background on these two awesome books. Habakkuk 1:1. The revelation which Habakkuk the prophet saw. Habakkuk's first prayer. Yahweh, how long will I cry, and you will not hear? I cry out to you, violence, and will you not save? Why do you show me iniquity and look at perversity? For destruction and violence are before me. Listen, how much does this sound like parts of society we know today? He says, destruction and violence are before me. There is strife and contention rises up. Therefore the law is paralyzed and justice never prevails. For the wicked surround the righteous. Therefore justice comes out perverted. And here's God's first answer. Look among the nations, watch and wonder marvelously. For I am working a work in your days which you will not believe, though it is told you. For behold, I raise up the Chaldeans, that bitter and hasty nation, that march through the width of the earth to possess dwelling places that are not theirs. They are feared and dreaded. Their judgment and their dignity proceed from themselves. Their horses are also swifter than leopards, and are more fierce than the evening wolves. Their horsemen press proudly on. Yes, their horsemen come from afar. They fly as an eagle that hurries to devour. All of them come for violence. Their hordes face the desert. He gathers prisoners like sand. Yes, he scoffs at kings, and princes are a derision to him. He laughs at every stronghold, for he builds up an earthen ramp and takes it. Then he sweeps by like the wind and goes on. He is indeed guilty, whose strength is his God. Habakkuk's second prayer. Yahweh, my God, my Holy One, we will not die, Yahweh. You have appointed him for judgment. You, Rock, have established him to punish. You who have purer eyes than to see evil, and who cannot look on perversity, why do you tolerate those who deal treacherously, and keep silent when the wicked swallows up the man who is more righteous than he? And make men like fish of the sea, like the creeping things that have no ruler over them. He takes up all of them with his hook, he catches them in his net, and gathers them in his dragnet. Therefore he rejoices and is glad. Therefore he sacrifices to his net and burns incense to his dragnet, because by them his life is luxurious and his food is good. Will he therefore continually empty his net and kill the nations without mercy? Habakkuk waits for God's response. I will stand at my watch and set myself on the ramparts, and will look out to see what he says to me, what I will answer concerning my complaint. God's second answer. Yahweh answered me, write the vision and make it plain on tablets, that he who runs may read it. For the vision is yet for the appointed time, and it hurries toward the end and won't prove false. Though it takes time, wait for it, because it will surely come. It won't delay. Behold, his soul is puffed up. It is not upright in him, but the righteous will live by faith. Yes, moreover, wine is treacherous. An arrogant man who doesn't stay at home, who enlarges his desire as Sheol, he is like death and can't be satisfied, but gathers to himself all nations and heaps to himself all peoples. The five woe oracles. The five woe oracles. Won't all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him who increases that which is not his, and who enriches himself by extortion? How long? Won't your debtors rise up suddenly, and wake up those who make you tremble, and you will be their victim? Because you have plundered many nations, all the remnant of the people will plunder you, because of men's blood, and for the violence done to the land, to the city, and to all who dwell in it. Woe to him who gets an evil gain for his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the hand of evil. You have devised shame to your house by cutting off many peoples, and have sinned against your soul. So what I hear this saying is, this wicked nation has done all these things, and they're about to get the return on their investment. You know, they've sown these seeds, and they're going to reap what they've sown. Verse 10. Oh no, I stopped at, let me just start with 11. For the stone will cut out of the wall, and the beam out of the woodwork will answer it. Woe to him who builds a town with blood and establishes a city by iniquity. Behold, isn't it of Yahweh of armies that the peoples labor for the fire, and the nations weary themselves for vanity? For the earth will be filled with the knowledge of Yahweh's glory, as the waters cover the sea. Woe to him who gives his neighbor drink, pouring your inflaming wine. Now see how it switches tenses in this version, I've noticed. If you've been listening, you know this version is new to me. And so I'm just kind of observing it as I go through. I'm enjoying it and I love it. But I'm observing some of the, what do I want to say, particulars about it. And here it went from woe to him who gives his neighbor drink, and then it went to second person, pouring your inflaming wine until they are drunk, so that you may gaze at their naked bodies. You are filled with shame and not glory. You will also drink and be exposed. The cup of Yahweh's right hand will come around to you, and disgrace will cover your glory. For the violence done to Lebanon will overwhelm you, and the destruction of the animals which made them afraid, because of men's blood, and for the violence done to the land, every city, and to those who dwell in them. What value does the engraved image have, that its maker has engraved it? The molten image, even the teacher of lies, that he who fashions it forms trust in it to make mute idols. Woe to him who says to the wood, awake, or to the mute stone, arise. Shall this teach? Behold it, behold, it is overlaid with gold and silver, and there is no breath at all within it. But Yahweh is in his holy temple. And the thought that came to mind was Yahweh, the one who gives breath, the only one who gives breath to anything. As he's saying, what about these idols? They can't talk, they can't breathe. But, verse 20, Yahweh is in his holy temple. Let all the earth be silent before him. Habakkuk's third prayer. A prayer of Habakkuk the prophet, set to victorious music. Yahweh, I have heard of your fame. I stand in awe of your deeds, Yahweh. Renew your work in the middle of the years. In the middle of the years, make it known. In wrath, you remember mercy. God came from Teman, the Holy One, from Mount Paran. His glory covered the heavens, and his praise filled the earth. His splendor is like the sunrise. Rays shine from his hand where his power is hidden. Plague went before him, and pestilence followed his feet. He stood and shook the earth. He looked and made the nations tremble. The ancient mountains were crumbled. The age-old hills collapsed. His ways are eternal. I saw the tents of Cushan in affliction. The dwellings of the land of Midian trembled. Was Yahweh displeased with the rivers? Was your anger against the rivers, or your wrath against the sea, that you rode on your horses, on your chariots of salvation? You uncovered your bow, you called for your sworn arrows, you split the earth with rivers. The mountains saw you and were afraid. The storm of waters passed by. The deep roared and lifted up its hands on high. The sun and the moon stood still in the sky, at the light of your arrows as they went, at the shining of your glittering spear. You marched through the land in wrath, you thrashed the nations in anger. You went out for the salvation of your people, for the salvation of your anointed. You crushed the head of the land of wickedness. You stripped them head to foot. Selah. You pierced the heads of his warriors with their own spears. They came as whirlwind to scatter me, gloating as if to devour the wretched in secret. You trampled the seas with your horses, churning mighty waters. Habakkuk's confidence in God expressed. I heard, and my body trembled. My lips quivered at the voice. Rottenness enters into my bones, and I tremble in my place, because I must wait quietly for the day of trouble, for the coming up of the people who invade us. For though the fig tree doesn't flourish, nor fruit be in the vines, the labor of the olive fails, the fields yield no food, the flocks are cut off from the fold, and there is no herd in the stalls, yet I will rejoice in Yahweh. I will be joyful in the God of my salvation. Yahweh the Lord is my strength. He makes my feet like deer's feet, and enables me to go in high places. Zephaniah 1. For the music director on stringed instruments, the great day of the Lord. Yahweh's word which came to Zephaniah, son of Cushi, son of Gedaliah, the son of Amariah, the son of Hezekiah, in the days of Josiah, the son of Ammon, king of Judah. I will utterly sweep away everything from the surface of the earth, says Yahweh. I will stretch out my hand against Judah and against all the inhabitants of Jerusalem. I will cut off the remnant of Baal from this place, the name of the idolatrous and pagan priests, those who worship the army of the sky on the housetops, those who worship and swear by Yahweh and also swear by Malcolm, those who have turned back from following Yahweh, and those who haven't sought Yahweh nor inquired after him. Be silent at the presence of the Lord Yahweh, for in the day of Yahweh is at hand. For Yahweh has prepared a sacrifice, he has consecrated his guests. It will happen in the day of Yahweh's sacrifice that I will punish the princes, the king's sons, and all those who are clothed with foreign clothing. In that day I will punish all those who leap over the threshold, who fill their master's house with violence and deceit. In that day, says Yahweh, there will be the noise of a cry from the fish gate, a wailing from the second quarter, and a great crashing from the hills. Wail, you inhabitants of Maktesh, for the people of Canaan are undone. All those who were loaded with silver are cut off. It will happen at that time that I will search Jerusalem with lamps, and I will punish the men who are settled on their dregs, who say in their heart, Yahweh will not do good, neither will he do evil. Their wealth will become a plunder, and their houses a desolation. Yes, they will build houses, but won't inhabit them. They will plant vineyards, but won't drink their wine. The great day of Yahweh is near. It is near and hurries greatly. The voice of the day of Yahweh. The mighty man cries there bitterly. That day is a day of wrath, a day of distress and anguish, a day of trouble and ruin, a day of darkness and gloom, a day of clouds and blackness, a day of a trumpet and an alarm against the fortified cities and against the high battlements. I will bring distress on men, that they will walk like blind men, because they have sinned against Yahweh, and their blood will be poured out like dust, and their flesh like dung. Neither their silver nor their gold will be able to deliver them in that day of Yahweh's wrath. But the whole land will be devoured by the fire of his jealousy, for he will make an end, yes, a terrible end, of all those who dwell in the land. A call to repentance. Gather yourselves together, yes, gather together, you nation that has no shame, before the appointed time when the day passes as the chaff, before the fierce anger of Yahweh comes on you, before the day of Yahweh's anger comes on you. Seek Yahweh, all you humble of the land who have kept his ordinances. Seek righteousness, seek humility. It may be that you will be hidden in the day of Yahweh's anger. Judgment against the nations. For Gaza will be forsaken and Ashkelon a desolation. They will drive out Ashdod at noonday, and Ekron will be rooted up. Woe to the inhabitants of the seacoast, the nation of the Cherethites. Yahweh's word is against you. Canaan, the land of Philistines, I will destroy you, that there will be no inhabitant. The seacoast will be pastures with cottages for shepherds and folds of flocks. The coast will be for the remnant of the house of Judah. They will find pasture. In the houses of Ashkelon they will lie down in the evening, for Yahweh their God will visit them and restore them. I have heard the reproach of Moab and the insults of the children of Ammon, which they have reproached my people, and magnified themselves against their border. Therefore, as I live, says Yahweh of armies, the God of Israel, surely Moab will be as Sodom, and the children of Ammon as Gomorrah, a possession of nettles, a salt pit, the perpetual desolation. The remnant of my people will plunder them, and the survivors of my nation will inherit them. This they will have for their pride, because they have reproached and magnified themselves against the people of Yahweh of armies. Yahweh will be awesome to them. He will famish all the gods of the land. Men will worship him, everyone from his place, even all the shores of the nations. You Cushites also, you will be killed by my sword. He will stretch out his hand against the north, destroy Assyria, and will make Nineveh desolation, as dry as the wilderness. Herds will lie down in the middle of her, all the animals of the nations. Both the pelican and the porcupine will lodge in its capitals. Their calls will echo through the windows. Desolation will be in the thresholds, for he has laid bare the cedar beams. This is the joyous city that lived carelessly, that said in her heart, I am, and there is no one beside me. How she has become a desolation, a place for animals to lie down. Everyone who passes her will hiss and shake their fists. Woe to oppressive Jerusalem! Woe to her who is rebellious and polluted, the oppressing city. She didn't obey the voice. She didn't receive correction. She didn't trust in Yahweh. She didn't draw near to her God. Her princes within her are roaring lions. Her judges are evening wolves. They leave nothing until the next day. Her prophets are arrogant and treacherous people. Her priests have profaned the sanctuary. They have done violence to the law. Yahweh within her is righteous. He will do no wrong. Every morning he brings his justice to light. He doesn't fail, but the unjust know no shame. I have cut off nations, their battlements are desolate. I have made their streets waste so that no one passes by. Their cities are destroyed, so there is no man, so that there is no inhabitant. I said, just fear me, receive correction, so that her dwelling won't be cut off, according to all that I have appointed concerning her. But they rose early and corrupted all their doings. Therefore wait for me, says Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour on them my indignation, even all my fierce anger, for all the earth will be devoured with the fire of my jealousy. Final restoration promised. For then I will purify the lips of the people that all may call on Yahweh's name to serve him shoulder to shoulder. From beyond the rivers of Cush, my worshippers, even the daughter of my dispersed people, will bring my offering. In that day you will not be disappointed for all your doings in which you have transgressed against me. For then I will take away out from among you your proudly exalted ones, and you will no more be arrogant in my holy mountain. But I will leave among you an afflicted and poor people, and they will take refuge in Yahweh's name. The remnant of Israel will not do iniquity, nor speak lies, neither will a deceitful tongue be found in their mouth. For they will feed and lie down, and no one will make them afraid. Sing, daughter of Zion, shout, Israel. Be glad and rejoice with all your heart, daughter of Jerusalem. Yahweh has taken away your judgments, he has thrown out your enemy. The King of Israel, Yahweh, is among you. You will not be afraid of evil any more. In that day it will be said to Jerusalem, don't be afraid, Zion. Don't let your hands be weak. Yahweh your God is among you, a mighty one who will save you. A mighty one who will save. He will rejoice over you with joy. He will calm you in his love. He will rejoice over you with singing. I will remove those who grieve about the appointed feast from you. They are a burden and reproach to you. Behold, at that time I will deal with all those who afflict you, and I will save those who are lame, and gather those who were driven away. I will give them praise and honor, whose shame has been in all the earth. At that time I will bring you in, and at that time I will gather you, for I will give you honor and praise among all the peoples of the earth, when I restore your fortunes before your eyes, says Yahweh. That's it for today's reading. 2 short books. Again, be sure to look for the introduction to those 2 books in the description so you can just get a good handle on them. There's even a playlist where you can play the introductions and then the reading together. You want to listen to it a few times like I like to do. That's it. You did good. You invested your time into the Word of God, and I know you're going to reap the fruit of that. God bless you. Till next time.